All right, today we're going to talk about solving inequalities. Now, up until now, we've been putting everything into an equation with an equal sign, all right? So we've been putting in y equals 2x minus 6, and we know how to graph that. But now we're going to throw in an inequality sign, like a less than, or a greater than, or even a greater than or equal sign like that. So here's what you're going to do. Here's the basic idea. We're not actually going to do it this way, but this is what we're looking for. We're looking for points that are going to make this inequality true. All right, so at the very minimum, you can plug in points for x. So we'll put a 0 in for x, and we're going to put a 0 in for y. Sorry, I've got some screen issues. And we'll put a 0 in for y and see what we get. So see if this point is going to make it true. So 2 times 0 and then minus 6. Let's see what we get. We get 0 is less than negative 6. Is that true? No, it is not true. So 0, 0 is not going to be part of the solution. Cross that one out. Okay, how about 0, negative 7? All right, so we're going to plug in 0 for x, plug in negative 7 for y. So we get negative 7 less than is less than 2 times 0 minus 6. So let's work that out. Negative 7 less than negative 6. Yeah, negative 7 is less than negative 6. So 0, negative 7 is part of the solution. All right, this is kind of time consuming, kind of painstaking, I guess is what you would say. All right, it's a lot of work. So we can do it a little faster if we just go ahead and graph this as an equation. So the graph is basically the same as y equals 2x minus 6. So our y-intercept is negative 6, which if I scroll down, you can see it down here. This is negative 6. And the slope is 2, which is 2 over 1, because we always have to put some kind of fraction in there. So if you graph that, there you go. There's your points. So I just went from the y-intercept and I went up 2 and over 1 to get to my next points. Or I could use my table and my calculator. All right, so the thing is, though, we've got to make it an inequality. So we already know 0, negative 7 is going to be part of the solution. So I'm going to graph that right there. I'm going to put a dot there for 0, negative 7. And we know that 0, 0 was not part of the solution. Oh, no, I messed up the whole graph. I moved the whole thing. Here we go. I think that's right. Okay, and we know 0, 0 is not part of the solution. So if we tested more points, we would find that more of these points down here are going to be part of the solution. Well, we can't just go pick every point. So what we do is we go and shade all of the points where they're going to be a solution. So all you're going to do now is just go in and fill in. It's better if you have like a crayon or a colored pencil. All right, so technically this is actually not really right because it's less than. So this line is not part of the solution right here. So I'm going to show you how to do that where you don't have that line there, okay? We'll get to that at another time because look, now we've got one that has an equal sign under it. So the line that we're going to draw is going to be okay. All right, so let's try this one. Which ordered pairs make y greater than or equal to negative 4x plus 3 true? So we're going to graph the line just as if it were any other line. So let's just graph y equals negative 4x plus 3. You can either put that in your calculator or you can start at your y-intercept and then plot points. All right, and so because it could be equal, we can actually connect our dots and make a line. So here are some points that I found on my table. And I'm kind of trying to draw it kind of close, but I'm not getting too good. All right. So now we want to check points on either side. Okay. So you can go and check some points here. I always check 0, 0. 0, 0 is the easiest point to check. Okay. So we're going to check 0, 0. Is that going to be part of the solution? All right. So I'm going to put 0 in for y. And I'm going to put 0 in for x. I get 0 is greater than or equal to 3. Is that true? No, it is not true. So 0 is not going to, we're not going to shade on that side where 0, 0 is. We're going to shade on the other side of the line. That's not including 0, 0. And let's check a point over here. So I'm going to check, oh, something easy. Something like 2, 0. Let's see if 2, 0 is going to work. So let's check here and see what we get. So let me erase this and check 2, 0. I'm going to put 0 in for y, and I'm going to put in 2 for x. So negative 4 times 2 plus 3. So I've got 0 is greater than or equal to negative 8 plus 3. Well, let's see. Let me move this out of the way. All right, so I've got 0 is greater than or equal to negative 5. Well, that's true. 0 is greater than or equal to negative 5. So I know I have shaded the right side of the graph, or the correct side of the graph. All right, there is a way to do this that's much easier, okay? There's a table you can follow and you can copy. So when you have an inequality that is just a, go ahead and copy this down, just a less than, or a greater than, then you would have a dotted line right here. So you're going to have a dotted line, and you're going to shade above, right? Because it's greater than, you're going to shade above. Your calculator has a button on there, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so go ahead and copy all of these down. I'm going to give you a minute. Go ahead and pause it so that you can see it. All right, and then I'll give you some time to do that. Okay, so if you didn't get the top part of the table, that's what the top part looked like. And if you didn't get down to the bottom, just pause this at any time. If you didn't get down to the bottom, we just want to remember when you multiply or divide by a negative, you're going to flip the inequality. All right, so let's go try one more. All right, we want to graph this inequality. So we've got y is greater than 1/2 x plus 2. No matter how you want to do it, go ahead and graph it. You can put that in your calculator and you can just see that you have this line. Now I always start with a dotted line because, one, I like to connect the dots, but because this is specifically greater than, we are not going to be able to be equal to that line. So we kind of have to keep it dotted. I'm going to go ahead and fill it in like this, just to kind of say, you know, this is the boundary line, but it's not quite where it's going to be equal. Okay, so there we go. So let me just do that. My lines are not straight, but okay, there we go. All right, so because we want everything that's greater than, we want to be greater than, we're going to go and shade above. Now I like to go to the y-intercept. The y-intercept is pretty much going to help you figure it out. So go in and either use a highlighter or a crayon or a colored pencil, and then you can shade it in prettier. All right, my crayon one's not looking too good. All right, let me make my crayon a little bit fatter. Here we go. Oh, still not looking too good, but it gets the idea across. Okay. And that's basically all you do. All right, so try one on your own and graph this inequality. Now you already see it, but I want you to try it on your own, and then I want you to check it. Okay, and there you go. So once you graph it, you graph the line. The y-intercept is -5. And so because we are graphing a greater than, okay, there's -5, we're going to go above the y-intercept and we're going to shade above there. And that's basically all you do. All right, we'll look at this a little bit more in class.